You know, most people want change, better results, a different life, a new inner state. But very few people trust the process that leads to real change. And that's where the problem begins. We want stable transformation, but inside we're constantly doubting. Doubting ourselves, doubting life, doubting that anything can work without constant control. Trust often sounds naive, as if trusting means doing nothing, letting go completely, or pretending everything will magically work out. But real trust has nothing to do with passivity. Real trust is inner stability. Look closely. When there is no trust inside you, your system is always tense. You're constantly checking yourself. Am I doing this right? Am I moving fast enough? Should I push harder? There's a quiet anxiety running in the background, a constant what if? What if this doesn't work? What if I'm wasting time? What if I miss my chance? And from that state, no change can ever become stable, because you're not living, you're surviving. Trust is the shift from survival to life. It's the moment you stop holding reality on a tight leash. Not because you don't care, but because you realize life isn't against you. Stable change doesn't begin with effort. It begins with inner agreement, with the feeling, I'm allowed to be here. I can move from this place. I don't need to break myself to become someone else. Without trust, even self-improvement turns into violence. Even spiritual practices become pressure. You meditate, but you're waiting for results. You work on yourself, but you're never satisfied. You grow, but anxiety stays, because there is no inner ground. And trust is that ground. It's the state where you stop rushing life. You stop pushing yourself. Stop proving. Stop measuring every step against an imagined ideal. You allow change to unfold naturally. And that's why it becomes stable. Trust means you stop demanding instant transformation. You understand that real change needs time to mature, like healing, like growth, like deep internal restructuring. And you stop interfering with impatience. Here's the paradox. When trust appears, change actually accelerates, because resistance disappears. You're no longer pulling life one way and yourself another. You begin moving in the same direction. Trusting yourself means, I can make mistakes and still be okay. Trusting life means, even without total control, I am not lost. This is a deep shift. It's quiet, subtle, but it changes everything. Stability never grows from tension. It grows from safety. And trust is the feeling of inner safety. Not because everything is perfect, but because you stop fighting uncertainty. You learn to stay with it. If you feel exhausted from constantly trying to fix yourself, it might not be because you're not doing enough. It might be because you don't trust the process, yourself, life. And without trust, any change will remain fragile. Trust doesn't appear on command. It grows when you stop forcing yourself, when you stop treating yourself like a project with deadlines and start relating to yourself as a living process. And when you begin from that place, change does come. Not loud, not dramatic, but real. If this video resonates, watch it again. These shifts unfold slowly. Subscribe to the channel if you want change without inner violence. Here, we move through trust. And remember, anything is possible.